Isn't it common sense before you go onto another content creator's show on YouTube to identify what type of content they put out, produce, and what type of audience they have? Is that common sense or not?
Now, I love to do this. I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one again.
Bro.
Yes, you're 100% correct. However, ShxtsnGigs, in the concept of this conversation, Andrew Schulz is up here. Mm-hmm. We cannot pretend that. ShxtsnGigs, they're big UK-wise. Mm-hmm. They're here when we come to... So Andrew Schulz is just below Joe Budden, Joe Rogan. Yeah. He's probably on Budden's level with regards to podcasting.
Yeah, numbers-wise,
We all know that Joe Rogan is the GOAT in that aspect, but Andrew Schulz is up there.
Yeah.
ShxtsnGigs are probably going, wow, we're going on to one of the leaders in our industry's podcast. Right. Not only that, we're breaking over to America.
Because they're on tour.
And we've been invited on. Do you know what? We don't even care what we're going to talk about. There's probably the excitement, which is the rookie mistake. The excitement probably took over. Let's just go. It's a great opportunity. So on that aspect, whether you can, yes, they should have had some kind of manuscript of what was happening, but I can see from the fact of the matter is they just thought, wow, we're going to Andrew Schulz podcast. We're gassed. We're excited. Their team as well. It's not like their management team is Kevin Hart's management. It's for these guys, these young guys from Coventry that are no ones really. They probably didn't even have the necessary to be like
the mouse.
Yeah, to let's start drilling in. Wow, can't even use that these days. Let's start driving home what we should and shouldn't talk about. Because to be fair, Andrew Schulz a lot of the times he goes up there and freestyles, and he goes a lot of general knowledge and popular topics.
Right.
Because I'm sure you lot have seen the Diddy clips. I'm sure you lot have seen the Will Smith, Chris Rock clips. He goes off what's current right now.
Yep.
So they may not even had a script that they were going to go by. He would have just said, you know what, we're just gonna rock and roll.
The same question to you, Drizzy.
It's 2024. You need to know where you're going. It's that simple. I don't think there's anything more to add to what's already been said. It's just if you do a background check on someone saying, oh yeah, let's go to this rave. Where is it? Send me the details. You check out where it is. If someone says, let's go to this restaurant, what's the details? Send it to me. You check out where
what's on the menu.
You do these things for these things. These are just basic things. So if you're now going on someone else's platform, it's basic to do
your due diligence.
What if that person is just unorthodox? Because he is.
But this is the thing. And why I agree, and I know you're playing devil's advocate, of course, for conversation. Why I agree with Drizzy, again, is we are content creators. And myself and Drizzy would use our common sense to go on another person's show and just maybe watch an episode. Even if it's half the episode, or just get a gist of the energy that is behind how they produce. Don't forget, the ingredients in this conversation is they were on a US tour. Mm-hmm. So they have planned where they were going.
No.
You're saying they didn't plan it?
They didn't plan to go on Andrew Schulz. He called them up whilst they were out there. So if I'm going to play...
Right, okay.
If I'm going to then do a bit more... Because I like to do due diligence on what's going on.
Yeah,
and I like to get a bit more research on what's happened. Andrew Schulz wasn't on their tour schedule. Right. It wasn't, let's go to Oprah Winfrey and we're gonna. He hit them up like,
I said, come through.
I like you. I like you guys' show.
Right,
if you lot, here, you know what? Come on down. If you got time on a Tuesday, roll through.
Right.
So it wasn't a thing where they knew we're gonna be in Tampa on Monday. We're going to Andrew Schulz. Wednesday we're going to the DM show. Cool. You know, it wasn't one of them.
Okay,
things.
so you're Fuhad.
Yeah, I'm a bit light skinned.
You're James, just for example. Sorry. I'm part of your team. And we are in New York, and you've got the phone call. I got the phone call as management or part of the team. Bro, Andrew Schulz hollered at us. I'm going to, even on the way in the car, go, listen, this is what they do here. Because let's not get it twisted. Andrew Schulz's podcast is, you mentioned it, is one of the top ones. So I'm not going to go as far as to say there's plenty of people that probably don't know what Flagrant is.
Yeah.
But in terms of the landscape of a YouTuber and what you do in YouTube, you've probably seen it or you've come across the platform, which is why they probably said, we're going to jump at this opportunity because of the numbers and because of the audience that Schulz and what's the other Indian Donny's name?
I can't remember his name. But
Akash.
Akash, yeah.
What they do. So if it's a schoolboy error, fair enough. Cool. But at the end of the day, they've gone there and they're having a conversation. And I look back at it because we're going to talk about the stages of this. And I know Drizzy's got a lot to say.
Don't deep dive just yet. Because all I'm going to say is what they should have done, because this is me coming away from Devil's Advocate, is like I said, his podcast, because I've watched it, it's too outlandish. One day it's serious, next day it's Mandem, next day he's cursing out Jews because he's Jewish, so just put it out there.
Andrew Schulz is not Jewish.
He says he is.
Yeah.
Okay, even worse. Next thing
he's a comedian.
Yeah. Next thing he branches off and he fires at everything, right? Mm-hmm. So what they should have done is instead of we're going on the show, let's look at a podcast, is they should have gone, let's look at the person. Because the person's character will tell you where you could have gone and then you could have prepared yourself to, okay, he might talk about anything. Let's be ready for it. Mm-hmm. That's where I think personally they went wrong. Because if you watch the podcast, you don't know what you're going to come into. He could have literally said, we'll just talk about your tour and let's go on that. They never knew he was going to go on the whole, I know we're about to go into it, so I'm not going to say it. So for me, I personally feel is where they went wrong was not actually looking at where they were going to, as in the people they were going to be around instead of the environment they were going to be in.
Right.
Because the environment doesn't give you... It's like if you go to Joe Budden's, it's 60% music, 30% general topic of what's happening now, 10% of just them guys talking about their weekends or whatever. You've got kind of a mixture, but you kind of know what you're going to talk about. Andrew Schulz's podcast isn't like that. He's not going to be, oh, well, you know what, it's going to be 50% music. It's going to just be anything and anything about how he feels on that day.
Okay. So we've spoke about the doing your due diligence. Okay. When I went back, because the mad thing is, right, for me, I watch ShxtsnGigs.
Yeah, so do I.
And I watch Flagrant.
Yeah, so do I.
Both regularly, week to week. Sometimes I'll miss an episode because I don't like the guests.
But you know the majority of what's going on.
I followed Andrew Schulz through his career leading up to now because he does Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne.
That's what more so brought me on.
So I watched both sets of content. I heard because I saw them. I watched it. I was like, oh shit, James and Fuhad are on Flagrant. This is going to be gas.
Yeah, I watched it actually.
And that episode was about 2 months ago. It's about 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so
July.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm wondering, why is there backlash now? But we'll get to that. I'm questioning that, right? And I'm listening to it, and I've gone, but I heard this 6 weeks ago, and nothing flagged up to me when I was listening to it. I just heard man them keying and chopping it up, right? Which is when we go down to the apology side of things, we'll deal with that again. Anyway, I went back just to do my due diligence. They were talking about Princess Diana, and that led from Princess Diana dating brown guys
to the whole black girl glow up, to
Meghan Markle and the ginger nut.
Harry a bit of swag now.
Harry being a bit of swag. Fuhad said he is here for the multicultural friendships and relationships. He said he's there. James then said the black girl effect, the black woman effect.
Yeah.
Right? So they're giving comedians alley-oops all day.
100%.
Right? You're sitting next to a comedian that can't wait for you to say something slightly risque, slightly spicy. Yeah. Akash says, so what? They come in and start fighting. So now we're going down the road of black women,
ghetto stuff,
aggressive, that thing, right? Stereotypes. Now, let's not do the dip of the head because we stereotype all the time on this podcast. Check out if anybody wants to see it, go on the our page, you'll see 2 stereotypes about white and black people. Stereotypical stuff.
I actually remember that.
We do that. That's what we do. And then what happened was Fuhad said the glow up, the culture.
Like the fades and all that kind of stuff.
And then James says, you see a white guy with a black girlfriend and all of a sudden he's got a buzz cut.
Yeah, got a fade.
Right? So in my head, that sounds like you're giving props. That doesn't sound like a disrespect. It doesn't sound like you're being you're segregating or separating or specifically generalizing over generalizing. You're just talking about glow ups because black people got swag. Schulz then says they shave their hair because they start losing it because of the stress. And because black girls start complaining and start complaining about shit all the time. Right? So when the conversation keeps going, I'm looking at James, I'm looking at Fuhad, and them man are belly At not one point did I look at them and thought, they look uncomfortable. And they look like they want to move on from the conversation.
Would you feel uncomfortable if you had that conversation?
Right, so...
Jams.
Nah, but hold on.
Me?
Would you not be busting out? Like, busting up?
I'm putting my 2-piece in it.
Yeah, you're going to be saying stuff.
The way I could be wrong again, the backlash is coming. But I'm looking at it as like...
Man, them having a conversation.
Having a conversation because we're going to cuss you guys.
Yeah.
The man them going to cuss the girl.
Facts.
It's like I've had this conversation.
Everyone does.
You date who? A Persian girl?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
Yeah, they're feisty. They're this, they're that. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
allegedly.
This is why... Well, no, it's facts. No. But this is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just... I feel like, yes, it's wrong. You should be standing up for, your own people first. Or just the minorities and so on.
Should you?
Yeah, thank you.
However,
should you?
I do.
No, sorry.
If you say something about Persians, I'll be like, hey, but I'm still there cussing them at the same time.
They are on a comedic podcast. Now, we've already lost the safe space of having a banter and having a talk. And I'm sorry, I grew up on the Richard Pryors, the Dave Chappelle's, certain man earthquakes, that there was no hold bars to comedy, right? We're now in this whole new era, and this is a disclaimer, this is T's personal opinion. This isn't the thoughts or the opinions of the D&M podcast.
Have you done this before?
Maybe, possibly. But me personally is if I'm with my boys and we're having a crack on something, if I'm cool with it, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Not everything you say I agree with. It doesn't mean I can't laugh in that instant.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean I stand on that. It doesn't mean I'm for it. But if we're just all rolling around and we're throwing back and forths and we're spraying out digs, compliments, jokes, there doesn't always need to be a Captain Save-A-Ho. And I'm fed up of every time something is said, why didn't somebody stand? What are you standing for? It was a couple of men saying some stuff. Now, granted, what maybe they should have done was fire a few stuff back at maybe white women.
The other way around. Yeah, exactly.
And be like, well, you know what? I'm sick of pancakes or what? Just something. I'm sick of them having raisins in their coleslaw.
They did at first.
Not really.
Once you get a black girlfriend, you get the shape up. So
no, but that was them giving this was giving the props.
As a white person.
Yeah, that was them giving the props. But what I'm trying to say is, where it was the whole black women are this, black women are that, they could have maybe thrown out an insult that side. But it didn't need to be this deep, as in the whole of, there's always somebody needs to be standing up for someone. And I'm sorry, in a comedic space, bruh, let off what you let off. Get off what you get off. If you're going to be directive and you're going to make a public post and be like, do you know what? I don't like black women. Then by all means, I will cuss your ass. Yes. I'm sorry. I will speak out against you.
Yeah.
But if you're in a comedic space and we're all just having a banter and we're all just talking, not everything needs to be so black and white, literally.
All right. Yeah. Before we move on to the apology part of it.
Which is nonsense.
Drizzy's got the shades on, so I know...
He's going to about to fire off.
I know.
Yeah, of course.
So I've been waiting for his opinion for it. Do you want me to put the opinion? Do you want me to put the apology on, or do you want to go?
Apology was nonsense.
Play it, man.
Okay. So
we're here for entertainment.
This was before you do that, please, because I know you're about to go off.
So this is the apology that Fuhad and James put. They've taken it out.
Taken it down.
Yeah, they deleted it.
They removed it.
Here we go.
Guys,
girls.
Right, before we get into today's episode, quick PSA, quick acknowledgement. So, if you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. But we just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And yeah, there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women. And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Making a frankly racist joke. And we were laughing at it. And to give, there's first of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
And fight or flight is a real thing. Like it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you, I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I would smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Bro, move on is the fucking word, bro. All you want to do is fucking move on. Just move on to the next thing. Just move on to the next thing.
There's
and
so
like
many
we had
times.
to say a few times, bro, just move on.
Just move
on.
So many different topics. He was like, move on.
That's why I got taken down, because it was a bunch of BS. And they're making themselves look worse. Now, let's be real.
Drizzy Freckles.
No, I'm gonna let him. Because I got one thing to say before he segues, and I know he's gonna fire
It's
up.
rude to cut someone.
These guys are not ours. They're not ours. They're not our type of guys. Just to put it like that. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It is.
Who are they?
But when I mean,
right,
it is. But what I mean, it is. No, it is 70% of their 70% of their fans
and the
are
O2
women.
That's their demographic.
Yeah, 70% are women,
Right.
and out of that 70%, when you then dissect it,
Right.
like 65% of that 100 of the 70% are black women.
Right.
However, these guys are pee holes. They would be the guys at school that used to get bullied.
Right.
They were the guys at school
You know,
that weren't
James
man them.
mentioned in our previous podcast that he
I've
got
been bullied
bullied
by black girls.
Yeah.
Literally, from you going to say something like that, you know where these people stand on a serious note. So the fact that they're trying to act like, oh my God, we just wanted to do this and we wanted to move on, it's ridiculous.
No, but bro, they said in another
James,
podcast
don't get me wrong,
that there's
that's where he got.
there's no baddies in Atlanta. That's crazy. When the man said that, all right, cool.
But you know what? No, do you know what? Let me. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that one, just to say, everyone has a preference. Now, and no. Everyone has a preference.
Don't speak for me.
No, everyone has a preference.
No, don't speak for me.
Everyone has a preference. Right, so and this is why I would say people jumped out the window where they were like, oh, he's talking about black women. I'm sorry, my mum lives in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my mum isn't black, but my mum's neighbours are white. There's Latinos in Atlanta. There's Indians. There's all sorts.
Yeah.
So yes,
in that sense,
the demographic is predominantly black, but he said there was no baddies. He didn't say there was no black baddies. No, he just said baddies overall. So he was just saying the women are clapped.
Yeah, but that's cold-blooded.
It is.
Because
he was saying the women are clapped.
Yeah, but but
the response was from black women. This is my point. My point was
that you can't save him for that.
I'm not saving him. No. I wasn't saving him. I'm not saving him. I'm saying it's always us that wants to jump out. He didn't say there was no black baddie. He said there was no baddies. The white women went, okay, and just walked past it. It was the black women that were immediately, defensive. We always want to jump out. Sometimes it's just...
But if you said it on a white podcast, it's different to the podcast you said it on.
Right.
No, because, okay, so what's the difference in the jokes that they made on the Andrew Schulz show then?
No, what I'm saying...
If their core fan base was different, this would not be a conversation.
Right. Okay.
But Andrew Schulz's fan base is predominantly white.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the comment, but the comment was made about black women, that's come back to ShxtsnGigs.
Because of their core fan base.
Because of their core fan base.
Andrew Schulz's fan base is predominantly white. So what?
Why on Twitter they're basically
they're like,
what's up?
In general, the Americans are like, what is this?
In
general, they're like,
it's only Black America that are speaking out. You know that, right?
It's the Americans. It's the women.
Black
that
Atlanta.
are here.
No, because even the pivot
started in Atlanta
because the pivot podcast. I watched the pivot podcast, and those are like the NFL.
I got hoes in Atlanta.
And those guys have spoken out. Lakefield, Stansfield, the actor from Get Out and that, he's speaking out. So people are there's a lot of people that have no business speaking out that are just jumping, and this is my point.
All right,
jumping on the bandwagon for no reason.
Wait, let's put brakes on, because I know Drizzy has stuff to say, and I really want him to say it so we can keep it moving and get back to certain points. Drizzy, Saka Freckles, over to you, my friend.
Oh man, this is hilarious. What do you think I have to say, bro?
A lot.
Yo, like, bro, like, they said in the apology, there's people that saying they'd have got up and kicked this and kicked that wall.
Yeah.
That's just being extra.
One
we
extra.
as black folks, we're too scared to break other people's shit.
Yep.
For real, paying for it.
Exactly. My thing is, all you had to say was, yo, Andrew, you're going too far. Yo, Andrew, nah, that's not for everybody. Yo, Andrew, that's generalizing a lot. That's what you had to say. You didn't have to get up and be, flipping captain.
Saver.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But would you say that when it's combo?
Yeah, because
the joke. Are you
because
going to go
Gams,
stop? That was really uncalled for.
Yes.
You're not going to do that.
You can.
I can. You know why?
Which you can. You're right. You can.
Because
there are people that,
Right. Joe,
thanks.
We're going to get to that, Joe.
Because Joe,
you're on your Usain Bolt shit. Slow down.
Yeah.
That was in there for a reason.
He says stuff on this pod, and I will either give him the look, and he just knows I need to wrap that up, or I'll say to him, yo, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
They've done it on their own pod.
Segway King.
They've done it on their own pod when James was, that time we was talking about being bullied, and Fuhad gave him that look that they gave each other. He gave him a little look, and he kind of was like, Rem, should we do a game?
Now, I'm glad you brought it up. There seems to be a long history
of
with
him speaking out
against black women.
Which is not new.
And it's not even now. It's black women since the turn of time. Once we got tricked onto getting on that boat and we lost our titles as kings and queens, the black woman has always felt unprotected. If we're the underappreciated in the world, the black woman is the unprotected.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying you have to be 24/7, like, on your Dr. Umar stuff.
On a cape.
You know how Dr. Umar is all about us?
Yeah.
And I respect it, but you could say sometimes you might be like, I don't need
But
this
he's race baiting.
I don't need this today.
Yeah. Not today. Yeah.
When the opportunity presents itself, because we're speaking about how and what they did not do, imagine if while Schulz was doing that, and personally, I don't find Schulz that funny. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I feel like the word comedian is thrown around.
Fair enough, but the sold out garden thing.
Ratings.
No,
I'm not.
I don't find
a lot of people do. A lot of people do.
He's very thought driven.
I'm just putting that.
For me, I don't find that funny because I find like a lot of his fun, his jokes, his kiki ha-has are at the expense of other people and their cultures and their lives.
That's a lie.
That's just me.
That's a lie.
Should we go on YouTube?
Bro, why I say that's a lie? Because again, I watch Flagrant and he's Scottish. They come for him. Yeah. Akash comes for him about his Scottish heritage. He goes on after Akash for him being Indian. They go at everybody. Yeah, and the comedian, and this is that conversation with the Will Smith team, right? Comedians at the top of their game don't have. Schulz has been on tour in Dubai and mashed down on Arabs.
Yeah.
And had people belly laughing. It's not malicious. It's what he does.
Yeah,
it's what he does in his craft.
I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
But I still stick by what I said.
Go on. Yeah, that's cool.
And you see how you just stopped me there?
Yeah.
Both those Donnies could have done that to Andrew in that moment.
All right, but then Drizzy, in that aspect,
talk to me.
I hear you and I agree. But then could their career brains had tapped in at that moment and said, if we step and stop Andrew Schulz, he could cancel us effectively. Because realistically, we could say black women are going to cancel him, but not really, because they had their next show. That I've looked at their numbers. The numbers are still doing fine.
Yeah.
To be honest, all this media has done is actually benefited them.
Yeah.
If they were going on Andrew Schulz show, who's in the 10%, and he's in the 5% of white America, and they were like, nah, Schulz, do you know what? Stop it. Or run me my fade, or let me kick this over, or we don't agree with that. Schulz goes, oh, no worries, guys. Thank you for coming on. You know those two? Don't put them on another podcast. And he has enough reach to kind of chop them in half. So do you think that the fact that the reason why I'm saying that, and what they really should have done in their apology was not done that, because then they kind of took a little dig at Schulz, and now Schulz can become their enemy. They should have.
I'm gonna get angry.
They should have done one of two.
I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get angry. You know why I'm gonna get angry?
The reason, and I'm trying to go with this whole. I'm trying to look at the perspective of them trying to look at their careers. They could have possibly just been like, you know what? We'll laugh through this. We'll carry on with the whole joking because it's part of what we do, and and we can carry on with our but I was just about to say that the team is predominantly white. Let's just carry on with this, and maybe being on Andrew Schulz's show is going to raise our stock. If they step up to an Andrew Schulz, it lowers their stock, and it can almost kill them off. This is me talking about their career breaks. It's not me saying what I feel like we should do.
We're all men here. If Drizzy feels some type of way about me, he's comfortable enough to say something to me.
But that's your boy.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Hold on, no, wait.
Let me. Familiar safe space.
Let me make a point. Let me make a point. I'm just gonna make this point.
Sorry, go.
If Drizzy feels some type of way about me, Drizzy is a big grown ass man to say, Morgs, you've taken it too far. Right. Vice versa. Joe, yourself, right?
Facts.
Shout out to Gamza. This is what some women need to know in conversations with men. Our group chat, our WhatsApp group chat is greasy. If anybody goes in a WhatsApp group chat with men, you might see a Mazzolini.
Yes, it's crazy.
Right? Because we talk that way.
Same with us.
Fuhad and James in the apology said, oh, we thought we were going on a show to have a conversation with men. You did. You went on a conversation with men. Yeah. You should have, if you had felt like it, said, Andrew Schulz, you went too far. They could have said that and that would have jeopardized nothing. You know what Andrew Schulz would have said? Oh, sorry, guys. But because Andrew Schulz knows how to banter and how to push the line, he will push it, and unless you say something, he's going to keep going.
Teetering that line, of course.
Don't forget, there are guests. So Andrew Schulz is not going to say, oh, well, fuck what you think about black women. I'm just going to keep bunning jokes. If Fuhad and James said, bruv, listen, where we're from in England, we feel this type of way about black women, and we need you to hold it down from this point forward, right? Agreed. And you say that. And even after the show, where you go, guys, I think you need to take that out. The fact that they didn't cut that out meant they were comfortable with what they said. Now, again, I called my sister, who is a beautiful black woman. And I said to my sister, sis, do you hear about what happened? She goes, yeah. I said, how do you really feel about it? She goes, I'm going to go away. Sister, go away, come back. She said to me, one, it's not that deep. Two, she does feel that society don't support or protect black women. She said that in general. Yeah. But what she said was, in this scenario, it ain't that deep. And I said to, my sister said to me, bro, go and speak about the whole situation, and I will agree with you, because the way that you talk is the way that I will understand it and take it, right? 100%. But I spoke to my sister because I wanted to get an understanding from a black woman's perspective. Now, this is another thing. Why do we as men just get bullied? I don't like the way man just come and bully up our team. If I go on a podcast and I'm on Andrew Schulz's podcast, I'm gonna make sure that I'm in control of certain narratives. I ain't finished.
One of us.
They are not. Let me finish. Because what people do, right? And Gamza, you might be able to relate to this. If somebody keeps bullying you and you keep taking it, guess what? They're going to keep take that. They're going to keep bullying you until you stand up for yourself, right? So now they've appeased. Now I didn't know that they took down the apology.
Yeah, they did.
But they've literally. So now you're apologizing. So now you've apologized. What you've done now is you've put a rod for your back, because anything now you say, pause. anything you say,
His head just went up.
anything that you say that is slightly left, you're going to have certain demographics of people coming for you. And as a content creator, stand on your shit.
Facts.
Stand on it.
Facts.
That's how you felt. You thought it was funny. It was only jokes, and we leave it at that. By apologising, you just made the whole thing look like some pappy
But that's
show.
what I said in the beginning. It should have just been, you know what, we were with our guys, we were in a safe space, we were having a laugh and a joke. We don't really, that's not how we really feel. It was just man them being man them. And that's what I said in the get-go. That's what it should have been. And it should have never been a whole apology thing. But all they've done is open up. That's why they've taken on 100 other videos, because all they did was open up people to go,
Foolishness.
Let's see how these guys
Stuff,
really feel.
yeah.
Because now people have gone, oh wait, James has said this here, he said this here, he said this here. Wait, is he a black girl hater?
This is why I step into the room. We are seeing a history of this common thread
It's been from the beginning.
with him.
Yeah.
Now, how you dress something up, you could put a pig in gold. It's still a pig.
Facts.
The way you put certain things across might take people a while to understand it. But if people are really paying attention to stuff and they're like, hang on a minute, this one guy keeps this narrative of black women, this black woman. When I was younger, because I'm light skinned, they used to, the ugly black girls used to bully me. But I'm not worried about them because
They were ugly, they were clapped.
Okay, first of all, you could you can diss someone without being very specific
Malicious.
and detailed about it.
Directive.
You said ugly black women. You didn't just say, oh, there was a bunch of women that used to bully me when I was growing up, you know, because of
bunch
my
of ugly
skin.
girls.
Or a bunch of
On
ugly
a, on a
girls.
separate show. On a separate.
You put in on their show.
Yeah, on their show.
Like, you've went out your way to be specific to let people know the type of women that was bullying you were of a specific color,
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah.
You've had years to tidy up your shit.
It's only got worse.
It's got worse. How do we know you've had years? The fact that you've deleted so many episodes lets me know you, man, are as tough in regards to standing on what you speak on as bread and water.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, we say a lot of stuff on here, but we're not malicious with it. No. But at the same time, if we say something that's out of pocket and someone pulls us up about it, I am not going to generalize my apology. These motherfuckers, I don't know them, so I'm calling them motherfuckers. They did not once say, we apologize to, not everybody, we apologize to the black women
That
because
felt-
in this moment, we should have at least added or said something to get him to say, oh shit, you know what, guys, my bad, I went a bit too far. You didn't say nothing. You're doing this generalized blanket apology, which is letting me know that you're putting your career and whatever it is that comes with what you're doing with content-wise before the basis and what really needs to be spoken about. I said before, and T said it, the black man is underappreciated. And you know this in certain scenarios where it's like, oh, wow, damn. That's like, the black woman feels
they do.
protected.
They do.
Underprotected.
Yeah, they do.
This was a moment for you guys who your core base is black women.
Which I've only learned today from Joe.
So you should have taken care of your core base
from day
that
one.
Has allowed you
from day one.
to have nicer things in life, have a better lifestyle. You should have put yourself out there and not be like, we are the pro black women, because at the end of the day, my brother, your things in your pants might be representing the United Colours of Benetton. You might like to sling your thing here, there, and everywhere, different races. However, if your core base is black women, you should have stepped in. And again, you don't have to be serious about it and be like, yo, Schulz, what the fuck you doing? You can just be like, yo, Schulz, hey, all right, you know what, man? In a comedic, joking. You know what, Schulz? I'm gonna need you to flip it now and do it on white women to represent the balance.
Or do you know what? Simple, like you said, you could have said 2 words. Do you know what, Schulz? Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. But can I just say,
Simple.
I think they weren't even there. I think they were in the moment. It was said, ha 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 ha, only look back and go shit.
Yeah, but then the apology should match that.
Yeah, 100%. Right now we're in shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, right. But I do have to say, the fact that something negative, the black angry woman is a, you know, common
horrible stereotype.
Stereotype that is created by non-black people. I think just for them, I think it's become a bit of too much of a hype with what they've done. I don't think it's that big. But however, I like that they're being held accountable.
Right. But they're not.
But they're not. It just people talking about it. People saying, "Well, why are you bringing women down? Black women down? You should have spoken up. You should have done this." Because if we're going to be real, any other race or culture is going to be, if it was going to be mentioned, it wouldn't have been mentioned. Yeah. Because there's no way you're going to turn around and say, for example, because I'm Persian, Persian woman, because I would have been like, yo, or white woman, someone would have been like, hey, hold up, or like we can't talk about certain races, certain cultures.
Right, that's the next point. Now,
so it's good.
This Schulz guy, this motherfucker, he's a guest in this thing. We've said to him, you can come sit at the table. Bro, this is the gatekeeping thing again. Sometimes you have to tell your guests, hi, hello from the window, and don't let them in your house. Hi, how you doing? You cool? How's the wife and kid?
I agree.
Now, they know the power of the LGBTQA plus community. Yep. They was like, hey, we might have said some stuff. Let's take that out. So you know those that you know they have power.
Yeah, but you see, Drizzy, Flagrant don't give a shit.
Yeah, they no. But my point is, those boys said to Flagrant's production team, take out the LGBTQ stuff because we're not cool with that. However, the disrespect on the sisters was okay. So you're scared about the LGBTQ plus community because they have the power to turn your shit upside down.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But when it comes to the black women, it didn't even cross your mind to go, you know what? Yeah, our demographic.
But
take that as well.
But this is but before you go, Ty. This is why I asked the question at the beginning of this segment about knowing who you're going to and knowing your audience.
Yeah.
This is a lesson for us.
100%. So
this is a big, valuable lesson for us. Is to know our audience so that when we go out to represent our audience in what shape or form it is, we stand on what it is. Because what it is with Andrew Schulz's audience, the Flagrant audience, they know when they go to that content, what they are getting. 100%. We've said it. You've said it. I don't find Andrew Schulz funny. People have said, who's this guy saying stuff, rare. They have their lane and they're gone in their lane. Yeah. They're gone. They don't, it's not like they're still a start-up podcast and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They have the people that follow them, appreciate what they do and laugh at their stupid jokes. They do that. So it was back to when Fuhad and James, who probably just did a rookie error in that sense of not understanding where they're going.
They didn't take accountability in that apology, They laid it all on Schulz. And like I said, I don't find Schulz funny, but I'm not going to say Schulz is the end-all and be-all of this thing.
You're right.
They did not take accountability. They didn't take accountability.
I said that before. All they did was actually end up having an enemy in someone you probably don't want because all you're going to end up doing. If you went there with your career in mind, like I said, and you weren't going to be like, oh, Schulz, we're going to stop you. If your apology then was to be like, oh, well, you know what, it was on Schulz. All you've done is you've poked the bear. Because like I said, they've now taken down their apology. They've taken down hundreds of things. I'm going to quickly circle back round. Joe, we said that their demographic, their target audience is 70% women. Yet, and this is something, for women now to take in. If it's been 70%, you guys been feeding them and has put them
giving them their numbers.
Yeah, have put them where they are. How have you not realised over the years that Mr. Lightskin himself has been tearing you lot down from the jump? How is it?
Because their podcast isn't like that though. That's why.
No. Because the context. Thank you. I was just about to say, it was a context of where it was said. Because at the end of the day, I can pull up an episode of where they are grilling a girl from uni. Right. And they say her colour, they say what she's doing, what they did in the toilet. Right. And at the end of the day, it's the same women that are oh my God, now it's, you guys shouldn't stand with us. But yet they've said time after time after time, girls this, girls that, women this, women that. Black girl this, black girl that, white girl this, white slosh that. They've been doing this plenty of times.
Slosh poppies. they've been saying white girls are slush.
They have,
you know what,
plenty of times. But yet now, because it was highlighted,
You know
because
that
it was on
flavour
a
of
bigger
slush?
podcast.
You got that flavour of slush.
What, the blue and red one?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Only because now it's been highlighted on a bigger podcast, which is why I went back to it's where they were.
This is the thing, because hear this, right? If this had just happened on Andrew's show,
a one-off,
and that's the only sample size you have is of that show.
Right.
A lot of us would have been like, I don't care for this shit. Me personally, I don't care what a next person's saying on the pod. If you're gonna say something out loud in public, either you stand by it or your brain should tell you, let me not say that because I don't want to apologize for it. Now, if that was the only sample size of it, cool. The fact you've had to go to the archive and start deleting shit.
Yeah, that's peak.
It's letting me know that you were comfortable saying it and you left it out there for that long. It's just the fact that someone's highlighted it now. You know what Black Twitter and social media is like. We do our research, bro. We'll find a dead body for you if you want, you know. Now you're like, holy shit, guacamole. We need to start tidying up our shit. Now,
you live in that lane.
T said it right.
You live there.
It's where, because they was doing it within familiar settings, they was getting away with it.
Yeah.
Now they've gone on an international setting.
It's peak.
Whoa, and let's not front, baddie is not a Caucasian word.
It's not. It isn't.
It's created within the culture. So when we say baddie, we're more than likely
Just on the borderline. It's on the borderline of Latinas.
It's black and Latinas, yeah.
Right, okay, cool. You're right.
It's black and
No, I'm
Latinas.
gonna run it back. You're right.
Black and Latinas.
We know, essentially, we're talking about the black and Latina community.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Shirley, Sandra.
I say Shelly is us.
That shit, you're right. That's why I said Sandra, because yeah. Shelly Ann and that. We're not talking about
that girl.
We're not talking about Kate, we're not talking about Katie,
Heather,
and Jennifer and Heather,
Facts,
and Ali,
Karen,
and Deborah, and them lot there, yeah.
Margaret.
But we would say
the women with
the
women with big milk duds.
We'd say it was a blonde baddie or whatever, a snow bunny. We'd say that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more specific. Yeah. The thing is, you get more specific when you're talking
snow
about
bunny
the other race.
Is their equivalent to a baddie. So we'll say either with a baddie or it was a snow bunny. Now, you specifically said in front of two sisters,
baddies.
There's no baddies around here.
Oh, now I would never ever dream of saying
you're on a ledge and you literally hanged yourself. You just walked off and the thing just dropped.
Imagine
that goes back to me saying they're not from our community.
Right.
Yeah, they're
just
not like
because
us.
they're black and
they're not like
race,
us. They're not like us.
They're not like us.
Right.
That's a perfect example of just being invited into the culture. Just because you are from the same complexion.
But Fuhad is a jigger man.
No, he's not. Them man are, that's what I keep saying, these are Cov men and Northampton boys. They're not London boys, they're not man from Hood, they're not from Brum, they're not about that life. These are two good boys that are just like, we're black and mixed race by association in our colour. We aren't of that ethic.
These guys are known for
playing curling
busting jokes and reacting to dilemmas and stuff like that,
most
which
of
we'll
their
be bringing
friends
back.
are Tom and Ellis.
And Jerry.
The only other black guy is Rem, and he's not exactly.
I've never met Rem.
Here's the thing, bro.
You know, they're not.
I can't expect you, man, to act how
accordingly
us, man, would act.
In the beginning,
because I'm no gangster, thug, bad man, whatever. I don't like confrontation, but I won't let anyone take the piss out of me. Right. And at the same time, I would have kept my demeanor and just said, "Yo, Schulz, man, we ain't doing that."
Yeah.
We ain't doing that.
Like I said, could have laughed off. Do you know what? Hey, that was a good one. Let's leave it there.
Because not all of our baddies are like that. Not all black women move. Here's the killer. Nah, Schulz, not all black women are like that, you know?
Yeah.
Have you know? Bro?
You could even say, maybe the ones you've met, but I know my ones ain't like that.
Schulz has dated black girl.
Of course he has.
And that goes back to the fact that Fuhad and James are fucked. They fucked it up themselves. They screwed it up from the beginning. And I get it. They've got a big platform and they need to try and what do you call that word?
Damage control.
damage control. I can understand the premise behind it, but it's
the apology wasn't damage control. It was worse. It made it worse.
Yeah, but it was the intent of it.
Didn't seem genuine.
The intent was
there was no genuine. There was nothing genuine behind
the
that
only thing that looked uncomfortable was the apology. They kept saying, "Oh, but we felt uncomfortable." Yeah, saying this apology seemed uncomfortable.
You know why I know they're not from the culture? Because they said fight or flight. And I said when I put fight or flight,
I think
in my head, I think that's confrontational.
Yeah,
where
you're backed up in a corner.
It's on
It's
top,
you or me.
not a conversation.
Yeah.
A conversation ain't fight or flight for me. I can have a conversation with another man, and I can read his energy and dive down somewhere another road. I can go, oh, okay, this guy feels some type of way, cool, bro. But you see the fight or flight thing. That was just not
because
the right.
It's a piss poor excuse.
Yeah, it is.
Because Schulz wasn't saying things like, "Oh yeah, well, the black woman glow up effect is because all of a sudden the white man's culinary skills have increased. Yeah. It's gotten better. He now knows what spices are. Yeah. He now likes jerk chicken. Them type of stereotypes there. No one has said nothing because we'd have been like he's appreciating the culture and saying that now that the white guy's got with the black woman,
he's got a bit of seasoning
he's got some seasoning. We make those jokes all the time. If you go and see how white people stuff, black people stuff, none of it is malicious in regards to their character or how they're raised or anything in regards to the person.
Anytime a white guy, because this is just known from the depths of time, anytime a white guy is from the ends or something, he ends up being called Black Rob. Or, white Jimmy is now Black Jimmy.
Black Dave.
You're right. Yeah. Because White Yardie, not specifically him, but they'll get given a black title or a black acronym behind them. Like even in my school, there was two Stevens. Yeah. They were both white. There was Black Steven and there was White Steven. They're both white boys, but one was from West. And one was from wherever else. Yeah. But that's how when Black Rob, not his name Black Rob, who was the one that was on Love Island, and they called him Black Sutton, the white boy. That's Susie Sny's
Jack,
Black Jack. They were calling him Black Jack
because he had a little
swagger to him. He had a little.
These are the examples you could have used in your black woman glow up.
Shag.
Yeah, now he knows a bit of Zonto and stuff like that.
Yeah, mad.
His hips move a little more.
At the end of the day, they fucked up. And if I was them, I wouldn't have even apologized on the first pod back. I would have probably done it in the second or third pod, let everything die down, get my thoughts together. And
I would have, I wouldn't apologize. I would have just been like, guys, I would have been like, guys, you lot are blowing this out of proproportion. You know what we're like? We're just having some jokes.
But
chill, guys.
You yourself said they're not like us. Hence, they did the apology.
Yeah, but
because we wouldn't have had to do the apology because we would have said to Schulz, brother, nah, that's not how it goes down, and then give examples to counter it.
Even if you didn't, your next thing, if you want to do a PSA with them, like, guys, we were in a place where we were just joking. Why are you guys taking it serious? You know we love you.
Or they can read the room, like you said. Yeah. They can tell who they can
get
a joke
Shits and Gigs, you're more than welcome to come on this pod and talk. And don't worry, we won't.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, this is a safe space, and we won't try and have you caught up in no mazzoline
in a web.
Yeah, that you have to do any apology videos for. And the key and the ha we're doing here is for stuff to be entertaining to the people that access it. But if you say it, once it leaves your mouth, you have to stand by it.
Business.
Or don't say it at all. It's the Drizzy and Morgan show.